2008, Britain suffered from a mutated rabies virus which swept across the nation, causing chaos amongst civilization and society as we knew it. The virus caused the brain to malfunction and it pursued a ruthless drive to kill. The infected beings died out after a dead period, in which Britain stood still for 8 months as the virus was starved and eventually died out. There are a few cases across the country where these infected beings have been held by the general public in small-scale confinement. This documentary visits one man in the southwest, living alone, who has held an infected being since August 2009.
I'd like to say that I found him in Tesco's, but in fact, to be strictly accurate, he was waiting in my front doorway and attempting to kill me. Clearly I recognised what he was. He's obviously someone who'd escaped from one of these massive places of confinement they've set up for the people who were affected by this epidemic. Savage, homicidal, and really had none of the sort of usual, ordinary human traits that we know about. He had been transformed into some savage beast. He's a meat eater basically, but we're trying to wean him over to vegetables, having this sort of theory that meat perhaps can sort of arouse him in some way, but it's not terribly popular with him. And but nevertheless he's showing signs of knowing it's time to eat, eating, and then afterwards sloping off and sitting in the corner. I've set him up in the shed out there, put a few posters up there to make him feel at home, and I sort of sense an improvement. He does get violent on occasions, but usually before breakfast, but after he's fed and watered, he settles down, and he's just a bit more placid than he used to be. The one-to-one relationship, I think, has modified his behaviour. He's almost pleased to see me sometimes, in that he only sort of half tries to kill me as opposed to the full works. I read to him. He's either showing a modicum of interest or he's bored to death. And I find those sorts of things heartening, and perhaps just the first glimmer of recovery. I garden, that's my favourite hobby. And what I've noticed lately is he watches, and when I leave, and I'm silly enough perhaps to leave a fork lying around, he'll pick it up and he'll try to dig the garden as well. Tom's very much living on his own, and it gives me a chance, if you like, to do something a bit useful. So, sort of exercising Tom, take him out. I don't like to say on a lead, because I don't see it as a lead, but it is a great big lump of rope. And he exercises, that doesn't do me any harm either. And then I come back. I'm fortunate to have the spare time, and I suppose Tom in his own way is lucky to have somebody like me to help him. What I want for Tom is that he should get better. Whether that's over-optimistic, I don't know. But the authorities and the scientists are working very hard to do something about this. Whether there's too much damage, I don't know. But in the meantime, I hope to continue to be able to look after him. And when we found his family, or a cure for him, off he goes, and perhaps he'll allow me to come to tea on the Sunday. But until then, I'm quite happy to fill in the years I have looking after him.